So then in this next video lecture, what I'm going to do is try using the warp texture just to add some additional variation so none of these edges are perfect, so to speak. So the way to do that is you probably can essentially put the warp specifically on this, but I'm not quite sure how that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a method I know. I'm just going to remove the normal map completely, and then I'm just going to add a new fill layer on top of that. And all I'm going to do is hide my color, my height, my rough and metal. I'm just going to apply our normal map just to this. So let's just confirm, yep, the normal map isn't on there, that's a good thing. So normal's on there, select this and just type in normal. Correctly would help. So it's obviously going to be one of these, so we need to figure out which one it is. We know we are in Lambert 1, so let's just hover the mouse over normal map from mesh Lambert 1. That would suggest it's the right one. So currently it's tiling at the moment, so it's got a UV scale of 3. So I'm just going to put that down to 1 and click on return. And that should now, so we can switch that on and off now. You can see the difference that's going to make. So normal map off and normal map on. So you can just see it a bit better over here. Normal map off, normal map on. It's worthwhile calling this normal map and maybe just popping this into its own particular group as well. So what I can do in here is I can essentially apply a warp to this to try and create some additional variation. Quite a useful technique. So if we just go to add a filter, and within here just type in warp and just select that, and you can see now it's just going to add some additional variation on those edges, which is actually quite useful because it just breaks up the the harshness of the normal map, so to speak. It's very subtle, but it can be quite effective. So if we look at this line over here now, so if we turn that off, you can see how we've got quite a clean, pure line. Turn that on, it just breaks up that normal map. You can obviously adjust the intensity of the normal map and some additional settings within here. Again, play around with them. It's on a intensity of 1. If we jack this up to 11, you can see that phenomenal difference there. Clearly it looks a bit turd, but besides the point. You can see now you can in fact warp this to whatever value we want. I think that's a bit excessive. What are we on? 2.45. I'm going to put a value 1.7 on there. Yeah, that looks okay. Switch that on and off. Yeah, that's okay. So now, especially with that line over there, remember how previously it was very, very, very sharp, perfect line. Now, just put the warp on there. We'll just add that additional bit of natural variation just to increase the overall look and feel of that. So let's now apply that to our secondary texture. I'm going to click on texture 1. I think that was texture 1 already. Click on Lambert 1. I'm going to close that down. Give it a few seconds to compute again. I think I'll pause it actually. Cool, it's come back to life. So what I've done is I've just hidden Lambert 1 now, because it can end up being quite confusing. So I've just hidden that now and apply the same principle. So I'm just going to close that down. So I've removed the actual normal map. Again, it's going to try and recompute things and take a while to figure things out. I mean, you can essentially just go away and make the fill layer and add the normal map on there while it's doing this, I suppose, but play it safe. I don't trust it. It could crash at any one moment, really. So add a fill layer. Define that as being just a normal map, and we know the UV scale needs to be 1 now anyway, so we might as well pop that in now. And then this one is texture underscore 1, so let's find normal mesh texture underscore 1. got to be one of these, hasn't it, I suppose? Mesh Lambert _1, it's got to be this one, mesh texture _1. Click on that, just confirm by switching that on and off. I've accidentally added it on top of there, so just add it on the top. Yes, it's definitely that one. And I think we had a value of 1.7 last time, so we'll just apply that value again on this. So add a filter, put the warp on there, just put this up to 1.7, and then just triple check to make sure things are good. But now we know. Try and avoid those wonderful straight lines that can almost kill the believability of an object. You just flick between the two, and once you're content with something, then I suppose you're good to go. You might as well just unhide the previous one. Probably worthwhile saving this now as well, so I'm just going to press Ctrl S to save that. So that's the warp filter. Very, very, very useful. You know, rather than doing a subtle level of sculpting, although you can't really do a better job than sculpting, really. I mean, in the long run, you would sculpt, but nonetheless, a very, very useful and quick technique just to add some additional natural variation on top of your asset, just to help bring it to life. So you can give that a twirl as well.